this is Jo from Math Tutor Me. Today we're doing some Pythagoras Theorem, and hopefully you have watched my last couple of videos on Pythagoras Theorem. We have looked at how to use Pythagoras Theorem to find the longer side, and then we looked at how to use Pythagoras Theorem to find a shorter side. Today we are doing some mixed applications, meaning that we're going to be doing a bit of each of these formulas, and they're also going to be a little bit unusual in the questions. It's not just going to be a triangle saying find the hypotenuse or find the shorter side. We've got some rectangles and we've got two triangles joined together. So these questions will be a little bit different than just your straightforward triangle. So let's have a look at the questions. Example number 1. The diagram shows a gate. Calculate the length of the brace. So this is a rectangular gate, it says. We've given the dimensions of the gate. It's 2.8 meters long and 1.4 meters high. And there is a brace that goes down diagonally across the gate, which is the brace. We need to find out how long it is. So, are we using the first formula or the second? Are we finding the hypotenuse or are we finding a shorter side? Well, here is my right angle, and straight across from that is my hypotenuse, and that is the one I'm trying to find. So I'm trying to find the hypotenuse, which means I need the formula c squared equals a squared plus b squared. The a and the b can be either one of these. You can have them the other way around if you like, you'll still get the same answer. So let's substitute in. I don't have another letter here for the brace, so I'm just going to keep calling it c. c squared equals, a is 2.8 squared plus b, which is 1.4 squared. Use the calculator to type that in. 2.8 squared plus 1.4 squared. C squared equals 9.8. We need to get rid of the squared. So to do that, you need to square root the 9.8, which equals... Okay, so we're not told where to round this question, but because we've got one decimal place in our numbers here in the question, let's do one decimal place in our answer. So that would be 3.1 meters long for the brace. Alright, let's have a look at question 2. I have two triangles here, and I want to find the value of each pronumeral. There's an x over here and there is a y over here. There's two things to find. It's actually two separate questions just joined together. So I could look at this triangle here, cover up this part, and I've got one right angled triangle. My right angle straight across is the hypotenuse, and these two sides here would be the a and the b. So I can use that first of all to find x. Let's do that. I'm finding the hypotenuse, so I want c squared equals a squared plus b squared. C is the x, so x squared equals 52 squared plus 31 squared. Let's use the calculator. 52 squared plus 31 squared equals 3,665. To get rid of the squared, we need to square root, and I get, let's do one decimal place, 60.5 centimeters. Alright, so we found x. Now, if we look at the second triangle here, I can find y. I have a hypotenuse, which is the 46 centimeters. Might just grab a different color so my letters don't get confused. This is the hypotenuse this time. This these two sides will be the A and the B, just so I don't get confused. I'll keep, this one has to be the B because that's what I'm trying to find, and this one has to be the A. Okay, so we're using the red letters. So this time I know what the hypotenuse is. I have measurements for the hypotenuse. I'm finding one of the shorter sides. I need to use the formula b squared equals c squared minus a squared. Let's substitute in. B is equal to y, so y squared equals, the hypotenuse is 46 squared minus my shorter side, 31 squared. Let's type that in. 46 squared minus 31 squared equals y squared equals 1155. Get rid of the squared, so next we have to square root 1155 to 1 decimal place. Oh, wow. If I want 1 decimal place, I need to round that 9 up, which means I actually need to go all the way up to 34, because rounding the 9 up gives me 34.0 if I was doing 1 decimal place. Centimeters. Okay, it's time for you to have a practice. So I want you to pause the video, have a try of these 2 questions, and then restart the video and we'll go through the answers together. Okay, question 1. Gemma walks north from her camp for 3.6 kilometers, then she walks 2.8 kilometers east. How far is she from the camp? This is what we're trying to find here. So this would be a right angle, because north and east are right angles to each other. So we are trying to find the hypotenuse. This is C, the hypotenuse. These 2 sides will be the A and the B. So to find the hypotenuse, we use the formula C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Substitute in, I've called my hypotenuse x, so x squared equals 2.8 squared plus 3.6 squared. Type that in the calculator. 2.8 squared plus 3.6 squared equals 20.8. To get rid of the squared on the x, we need to square root 20.8. Square root the answer. And we'll do 1 decimal place. So we have 4 point, because this is a 6, that will need to round up to be a 6 as well. 4.6 kilometers. She is now 4.6 kilometers from camp. Let's look at question 2. You have got 2 pronumerals to find, an x and a y. If we look at just the x first of all, we can use this little triangle here. We've got a right angle, I'm going to make this the C, the hypotenuse. This will be one of the shorter sides, B, and this one will have to be A. So because we are finding a shorter side, we will need to use B squared equals C squared minus A squared. B is x, so x squared equals 7.6 squared minus 4.1 squared. Let's calculate that. 7.6 minus 4.1 squared equals x squared equals 40.95. Alright, we need to get rid of the squared on that x there. So here comes the square root sign. And we square root that. 1 decimal place. Let's do 1 decimal place. We get 6.4 centimeters. So now we know that this is 6.4 here. We know these two shorter sides, and we could use Pythagoras' theorem to find the longer side, y. So we would need to use c squared equals a squared plus b squared. C is going to be equal to the y squared equals, the a and the b are these two shorter sides, 6.4 squared plus 9.8 squared. Type those in the calculator, 6.4 squared plus 9.8 squared equals 137. To get rid of the squared, we square root 137, and to get one decimal place here, 11.7. How did you go? Alright, it's time for you to go and practice, and I'll see you next time for some more math fun. Bye for now.